What do cars, computers and toys have in common? They all arrive by ship. Global trade runs on cargo vessels. From your electronics to your clothes, high-end machinery for factories, even the cars you drive, they most likely come on ships. 90% of the world's goods are transported by sea, and most of those ships are made in China. Now, the US wants to change that. Donald Trump is going after ships built by China. Just like his push on trade and manufacturing, Trump wants to bring shipbuilding back to America.
We will create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and offer special tax incentives to bring this industry home to America where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact.
So how will he achieve this goal? By resorting to the same strategy, he will impose higher taxes on Chinese-made ships. Whenever they arrive on American shores, they will have to pay something called port fees. And Trump is hiking this fee substantially. It's a bold move to tip the scales of global trade. And it's already facing a strong pushback. The original plan was quite ambitious. This is what Trump announced: a flat fee on Chinese ships, up to $3.5 million per ship per visit. $3.5 million per visit. The plan triggered panic across US industries. After all, they depend on ships to get their goods. And their concerns were all the same. Higher taxes would lead to inflation. It would raise prices for all American consumers. And global shipping companies said the same thing. So Washington has watered down this original plan. Fees will now be calculated on the basis of cargo weight or the number of containers it is carrying. And instead of every arrival, the fee will be charged up to 5 times a year. And yes, there is a way to avoid it altogether. For that, you'll have to order a ship from an American shipyard, no Chinese ships. And you'll get the exemption. Needless to say, China has criticized this.
We have previously stated our position on the relevant issue many times. I would like to reiterate here that measures such as levying port fees and imposing tariffs on cargo handling equipment are harmful to both sides. They have not only pushed up global shipping costs and disrupted the stability of global supply chain, but also increased inflationary pressure in the United States, harmed the interests of American consumers and companies, and ultimately failed to revitalize the U.S. shipbuilding industry.
I'm sure some of you are wondering why this is such a big deal. Why can't suppliers just swap ships? Just use a different ship made in a different country to reach American shores? Well, it's not that simple. China dominates the global shipbuilding industry. In the month of February, over 1,000 ships were docked on U.S. ports. 1,000 ships. Out of these, 190 were built in China. That's nearly 20% of all arrivals in the US. All those ships were made in China. In fact, more than 1/3 of all vessels at sea were made in Chinese yards. They produce most of the world's shipping containers. They also dominate crane production and port traffic. Now listen to this. 7 out of the 10 busiest ports on earth are Chinese owned. 7 out of 10. So you cannot ignore or avoid China's ship industry. They're simply too big. And they're still expanding. More than half of all ships under construction as of today are in Chinese yards. And they're still winning new orders. Of course, this did not happen overnight. In the early 2000s, China was a minor player. After joining the World Trade Organization, it scaled up fast. It needed ships to import energy and export goods. So Beijing gave state support to its shipyards. It gave subsidies, cheap loans, affordable steel, and labor support to shipbuilders. From 2010 to 2018, Beijing invested $132 billion in shipbuilding. Today, Chinese yards are vast and efficient. They benefit from scale, and they're nearly impossible to match on price. The US says this has destroyed fair competition. American yards are struggling to compete. So Trump wants to fight back by targeting Chinese ships with taxes. Experts are skeptical. Even if the plan succeeds, it will take time. It takes at least 6 to 7 years for the Americans to launch a new ship. That's longer than a single presidential term. And global trade will not stop until then. So Trump is targeting shipbuilding for the right reasons. He wants the US to catch up, but his strategy may take years to deliver, and by then, it may already be too late.
Greeting you with aloha and namaste.
No, I love India.
Presence, occupation of a territory by another country pertains to India, what we saw in Kashmir.
How do you see Trump's America?
Yes, the current administration behaves differently from the previous administration.
Are you saying that there are foreign powers who are trying to bring down the current government in Syria?
Exactly.
Iran, maybe Russia too.
Prime Minister Modi committed to South-South, cooperation.
Not over 50%.
Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.